And ABC News contributor Brad Garrett joins me live now to talk more about this. Brad, when you look at this most recent shooting in Pittsburgh, a manhunt is still underway for multiple suspects. So what's the latest on this investigation?
So, typically these type of shooters are found quickly, Diane, because there's a relationship many times between the shooters and the victims. And so people probably have picked up cars. CCTV will have picked up cars. Informants in particular neighborhoods are probably talking to the police. And so identity may not be an issue. And also typically people like this, they can't hide very long because they have limited places to go.
Now, Brad, just hours earlier, there was another mass shooting at a mall in South Carolina. The suspect in that case turned himself in after being charged with unlawfully carrying a pistol. A judge set his bond at $25,000 and put him on house arrest. What do you make of that? Could he face additional charges?
I think there's no doubt he'll face additional charges. Depending on where you are in the country, Diane, there's different sort of mindsets about possession of firearms and use of firearms. It can be, generally speaking, in the South, much more casual. They tend to pass laws. A number of states have passed laws where you don't even have to have a concealed carry permit. You can just carry a gun because you want to. All that sort of goes to, how urgent does the police, the courts, et cetera, sort of view gun violence?
Now, and of course, this comes on the heels of the subway shooting here in New York City that happened last week. What's next for the suspect in that case?
So, Mr. James obviously has been charged federally. Based on what little we know publicly at this point, I would guess they'll send him off for a psychiatric evaluation, probably to Butner in North Carolina, to see his competency levels. And so the court will then delay. Obviously, he'll stay in custody until that comes back. Assuming that he's found competent, he'll go through the system, and he'll either plead or go to trial with a maximum sentence of life. That doesn't preclude the district attorney also filing charges against him in New York City. So you may see a combination of both jurisdictions charging him.
Now, according to the Gun Violence Archive, mass shootings have gone up 66% in the last 2 years. So what do you think needs to happen to curb gun violence and this kind of gun violence across the U.S.?
So we have no gun accountability in this country, in reality. That's what separates us from other high-income countries where they have strong gun laws. They have a lot of restrictions on your ability to get firearms. If you have them, you have to be trained. You have to have cases to keep them in. It goes on and on. So the short answer is we can't get our arms around controlling guns. When I say controlling them, doesn't limit people's access. That's law-abiding, don't have felony convictions or sort of significant mental health problems. But we have to use tools to get guns away from people like Mr. James. He got a gun over 10 years ago. Okay, fine, he didn't have a felony conviction. He obviously deteriorated in 10 to 11 years. That means, in my view, every year or so, people need to show they need to be sort of re-upped for the ability to keep a firearm, or in particular, carry it in a concealed fashion. And, we're a long way from convincing people. Politicians are torn in the middle on this. But it's the only thing. Gun accountability is really the issue if you want to get your arms around mass shooters and gun violence in general.
All right, Brad Garrett, always great to have you, Brad. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.